Hello and welcome. How are we all doing? I hope you all have a good start to the week. Max, welcome on in. Good to see you. Samuel, how are you doing? Hope you're both keeping well. I am chilling a little bit today. I've worked on 1 or 2 bits, but I've mainly just been relaxing. I slept for 12 hours last night, which is very unlike me. I was in bed at like 8:30, 8:45, and then like this morning I wasn't up till gone night, so actually over 12 hours. Like a global game jam over weekend, I only slept for like 5 or 6 hours or something like that over the whole weekend. Will slept even less. Will usually only gets like 2 or 3 hours sleep over the whole 48-hour event. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. But we did finish. We did make a game. It's not quite as polished as some of our others, but we're still pretty happy with it. So we're going to sit and talk about it today. Let's see. Quite tired? Oh, I hope you feel better, Max. How did the end of your jam go? I know you had that major, like, hiccup with your model animations not working. Hope you're able to make some use of them, as you said, with at least a single animation playing. But I guess we'll have to see. Game art? Absolutely. Absolutely, we're going to show it off. I'm going to start by running the game itself through the built game files so that you get to see the game, and then I'm going to go through the actual project files, show behind the scenes how it works, stuff like that. I want to cuddle, you do not want to cuddle me. I am made for terrible cuddles because I don't sit still for long enough. I am not good for cuddling in that regard. Anyway, like I said, I don't sit still long enough. You can get me down for maybe 2 minutes, and then I'm up and doing something again. I would make a terrible partner. We did manage to pull off a functioning game. Hey, awesome. Okay, I'm glad you got something in. Still, tomorrow do you be showcasing stuff? Heck yeah. Hope it goes well, dude. Absolutely, I want to see it. I would love to see what you guys came up with. I know you sent me some updates. I was loving reading through them, so absolutely. Fire away. Alright, let's see. So, let's build up the game itself. I am going to stop our cheery little background music for a moment. And let's give this a go, shall we? So the name is called Raiders of Pharaoh. I was the one that ended up naming it. I just needed something to put in real quick. Not overly fond of the name. Hey ho, whatever. It's quite Egyptian in style. that was kind of accidental. That was mainly Will's choice, but like not entirely by design. He just kind of did it. He couldn't really explain it afterwards, but it works. It like kind of fits. The theme for this year was masks. So the approach we took was we went for a sort of Metroidvania kind of game, first person, while taking quite a fair bit of inspiration from like Zelda's Majora's Mask. Now, originally the idea was it's a bit of a boss rush where you've got to go fight individual bosses. It's only bosses you fight. And they were going to drop masks in that you pick up as trophies. However, time got the better of us, and we didn't really manage to link it back to the theme much. There's a mask in the end cutscene at the end of the game, and that's about it. So we didn't really get like much into the theme or anything, unfortunately. But hey, it happens. We still got a pretty good game out of it. At least we think so. So yeah, let's build it up and give it a go. This audio is going to be loud. I apologize. I will try and balance it as we go. I did not have time to sort out the audio. It's not even much audio for the most part. It's just music. Like I think there's maybe 2 sound effects in the whole game, maybe 3. I wanted to get more in. We just didn't have time. It was also a little bit of a struggle, but I'll explain why that was as we get further in. Let's just get into the game for now. If anyone is interested, give me a moment. Here is a link to our game on itch. I will put it's posted in the Discord as well. So if anyone wants to give it a go later, they're more than welcome to. Okay, let's boot this up, shall we? So we got some tense music. Look at that. An intro cutscene, a pyramid. We got doggos. Now, those of you who've seen our previous Game Jam games before now. Oh, you can't even hear it. Hang on. Give me a second. You can't hear the game capture. Oh, let me go. Yeah. No, wrong one. What do I want? That and that one, I think. No, it's not that one. Where's our... Oh, it is this one. Give me a second. There we go. Oh, that's a bit loud, isn't it? Let's turn that down a bit. Down there. Let me know if what the audio is like for that, guys. If it's still a bit loud or anything, I can change it. But yeah, we got this ominous background audio. Pyramid. So we're an archaeology dig. People may recognize that bass blast. Yeah, this is just something that I got from Upbeat. All the sound effects I got from Upbeat. I did record some stuff, but again, I didn't have time to even get those off my phone into project files, let alone add it into the game themselves. Folks who have been watching, seen our game jams before will know about the Doggo model that we have placed here. He's been in every one of our games since we started way back in 2016. So for our 10th for our 10th global game jam, we had to like get him in there, and there he is, proud and prominent. We got start, we got quit, and look at that, the quit button even works. So we'll take that. If you haven't seen a game jam game before, you probably are probably wondering why that's such a big deal. Most game jam games don't get even menus or quit buttons. It's simply a matter of time. Like, it's not to bash other games. Trying to make a whole game from scratch in 48 hours is fucking difficult, and things like menus are easily like left to one side so you can try and get at least the core gameplay itself sorted. Like a little Easter egg? Oh, absolutely. We always have him in as an Easter egg. Sometimes he's in quite prominent positions in the games. Other times it's a little more subtle. You've got to go looking for him. Usually it's loud and proud, but no, not always. Not. Whoa! Nice try there, Moonbright. I saw that coming a mile off, you cheeky little git. You cheeky little git. Oh, Max! That's it. No, you've lost privileges. You can't see the game now. So I can't do it. Look, I'm stuck under a net. Oh, what a shame. I can't see your game now. You have to go play for yourself. Download it off Itch. Boy. How you doing, Moonbright? Good to see you. Hope you and Baby Bright are doing well. What horrific act have I got myself into? Oh, I don't know. Shall we check it out? Shall we see what me and Will made over the weekend, eh? Besties with the best combos. Ah, you're all little shits, that's it. So, if we hit start, we pan down to our player, menu fades away, and we can see, wow, a little archaeology dig. Look, we've got some chests here. Now, this is a little, wow, we are small compared to these chests. Oh, I think Will scaled these up. We're doing all okay. Awesome. Glad to hear it. So we got some chests here. Now, this is a little bit of a sore point because I modeled and like made these. I'm fairly happy with the chest. And I set up a prefab or a script in that so that we could go up to them and open them up. Now, it's intentional that these ones don't open because it's just like, just a sort of set piece in this area. But we're going to add little chests in different areas of the game so you could go and search and find little extras. Again, we ran out of time. The chests and that are set up and ready to like be placed into those areas, and we'll have picked out a few areas to put them. We just didn't quite have the time to get them in there. We were literally rushing to get get like the last things working right up until the end. Like the bosses, like if you die and resetting everything, the bosses were still getting sorted in like the last 20 minutes for the reset. So yeah. Could be a bit better, really stressed out and tired. Been offline for a few days. Absolutely. If you're knackered, take some time away. Look after yourself. Self-care comes first. But outside that, oh, we can see inside of the chest and that. Now, there's a little bit of annoyance here. Some of you sharp-eyed may have noticed there's these little black dots, like there's this one here. Little blackness in there. I jump, but there's no jump in the game. We disabled it, the ease of player setup and that. That's because for some reason, the mapping of the textures, when I unwrapped these crates, just didn't seem to play ball properly. So when you make a model, you have to build the model, but then you have to do a process called unwrapping for folks who aren't familiar. Unwrapping is where you take each 3D face of a model, so you can see it like where the edges are and stuff like that. Each of these faces, and you have to map a texture to it. So I would bake these in Blender, and Blender would map the texture to the different faces of the model. There's multiple materials here. Now, more for myself to learn and develop my skills, I basically baked all the textures to a single model and then to a single material. This is how most video games do it, because it's better than having multiple materials, because it's less rendering for your graphics card. So you can make your game more optimized and easier to run. It wasn't really needed for this game, because there's not enough in here to really stress most modern systems. But it was still something I was doing more for my own personal development. It's a good practice to get into for jams and that. But for whatever reason, when I was baking it down to a single material, it just didn't quite map it all properly. So you can see in a few areas, there's some overlap between the black handlebars here and the wooden texture in the chest itself. Bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Unreal Engine and Unity are very, very similar in the end, I see. They often are. The thing is, with a lot of game engines, they realistically are trying to do the same job, and they've got a lot of the same tools in there. So you'll see a lot of similarities between them. The difference in them is usually more with the approach. So, for example, when you make a new project in Unity, you'll have noticed, Max, I'm assuming you saw it, when you make a new project in Unreal, you'll notice you've already got a character in there that can run around. You've got a lot of fancy light in that, and it already looks really good. Whereas in Unity, you don't have any of that. Your scene is empty. All you have is an environment light and your main camera. It doesn't load in anything. So with Unreal, when you load in a lot of the packages, you've already got stuff to make your game quite high fidelity, quite good looking. Whereas Unity, you can still make a game look just as good, but you've got to manually set all that up. So it's very much a difference of like what you're going for. I prefer Unity's approach because if I want high fidelity, I can bring that stuff in, I can add those packages, which yeah, takes more time, but then I'm more open to doing stuff that isn't high fidelity. So if I want to go for the low poly look, if I want to go for a different style of game, like two-dimensional or anything like that, Unity's easier to do that in. Whereas with Unreal, you'd have to strip all of that out of a new project. So it's very much a difference in approaches and what you're going for. Hey, Wolf Warrior, good to see you, dude. Rolls 20 to summon. Let's see what we get. Rabbit of... Yeah, if you get one of those rabbits, bat the fuck away. Those things are tough. And hey, they're level 19 now mini games, so don't fuck around with them. My uni really has a superiority complex for Unreal. Yeah, it's a shame when places do that. They're not the only ones. I've met people here who said the same thing. Other places are similar. People will say, oh, Unreal's better because you can make better looking games. Unfortunately, that's just being ignorant. Unity can have games look just as good as Unreal. They've both got the same kind of tools there. The difference is that, as I said, Unreal automatically applies those for you, Whereas with Unity, you've got to go put them in yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, then yeah, it can be very awkward. I'll admit, I don't necessarily know how to make high-fidelity games. Will's the one who often improves a lot of the lighting and stuff in our games, using things like Cinemachine, post-processing to improve things like space reflection, real-time reflections and stuff like that. And he's the one who's shown me to help make things more high-fidelity and stuff. But say one's better than the other isn't really fair. They've both got the strengths, they've both got the weaknesses, and as with most things with technology, it's really using the best tool for the job. So yeah, we've got our little archaeology area here. Look, we even got some mummies. Will even took the time to model a mummy. I think this is the only time you see inside the coffin in this whole game, and he still spent the time to make the model. Some of these textures will go offline. Oh no. Oh fuck, great. Now we're going into Mummy Mondays. Fuck. Well, that wasn't the intention, okay? Don't read too much into it. Don't read too much into it. Look, all I'm gonna say is this was Will's decision. He did not consult with me on this decision. Go and ask him about it. I'm alright, thanks, Moonbright. Little bit knackered. Like I said, I slept like 12 hours last night to recover from the jam, but outside that, feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Sheila's entered the chat. Well, fuck. So yeah, we've got a little archaeologist campsite. This music's gonna keep on looping. It is kind of samey. It is kind of samey, but that's mainly because I didn't anticipate people sticking around this area for long. You're meant to go inside here. Now here, we do have some instructions. So, dodge, if we press shift, we get a little boost. There is a cooldown on this, and it was actually quite funny because Will was getting a little bit frustrated because the uni machines have sticky keys enabled. So he'd be testing things out and Windows would keep up with, you've pressed sticky keys 5 times. It's like, fuck off, Windows. Oh, you're such a big baby. Oh, fuck off. Anyway, so deep into the temple we go. Now, as we've brought down here, listen. Why am I what? That wasn't right. Hang on. Let's restart that. Because that didn't behave like that in the jam or when we were showing it off. Now, one thing it does annoy me about this hole is that for some reason, there's a stutter at one point when you fall into the hole. And I genuinely have no idea why that's the case. There is a trigger that you hit as you fall down, but all that trigger's doing is disabling one game object and starting another, so that the music up here, this sound that we hear right now, fades out and new music fades in. But for some reason, that seems to cause a stutter. I haven't a clue why. Right there, small stutter. I also don't know why we're falling so slowly. Hang on, I'm going to turn this down real quick. Fuck me. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why we're falling so slowly there. Will did fix that, but hey, yeah, sticky keys are a nightmare. They're a genuine nightmare. Anyway, we are now in our little hub world. So look at this. We got some rolling sand here. This is literally just a Unity sphere with a scrolling texture on it, but it looks really good. Oh, there's also a slight sand particle effect going on here. It's the case of showing anything to friends. It doesn't work. Oh, you have no idea. I don't think they don't do it anymore, but there used to be a category at University of Lincoln. The Computer Science Society used to have a category called "It Worked on My Machine," and that was literally always given to the team that would have the biggest "It worked on my machine" moment. The sound effect is awesome. Will did a great job with that. So some of the textures Will got online. So like this one he got online. Others are textures that I made in Blender. So I don't think we can see any of those textures yet. We're still looking at the ones he got online. But we've got this little hub area. Low visibility for all the sand. We got a little bit of dripping here. We got some little obelisk type things. Look at this. We got some stairs. Oh dear. That looks interesting. Well, it suggests we're meant to go this way. But let's see what else here. Look, we got some cobwebs and stuff like that. And oh dear, we can't go this way. It's boarded up. I wonder why. I mean, you can actually kind of like... There we go. Some of the collisions on this I could have done with some tweaking. Again, we ran out of time. But yeah, you're not meant to go through there yet. Broken money. What do you mean money back? It's a free download, you little shit. If anything, I should at least be charging for the bandwidth. Hey, Genius. Good to see you, bud. How you doing? Hope you're keeping well. So yeah, there's that way. And oh dear. I don't think we will go this way yet. Well, that looks a bit dangerous, so let's back off out of there and... Shit. Cobwebs. So, in this little hub world, we only really have one option we can go with. All the others are taken up. Well, I guess we're gonna go see what's over here then. How you doing, Jeevious? Good to see you. Hope you're keeping well. Just gonna take him out for a drink as we slowly slide down the stairs. Farm. No, we can't fly. We can't fly. You can't even jump, Devious. Will decided to disable the jump, and I agree with him. Because the thing is, jumping causes a lot of problems in video games. Because when players start jumping, it's very easy for them to reach places they shouldn't. Now, normally, you'd spend the time, like, perfecting your collisions and putting in a lot of invisible walls and that to stop the players doing that. We didn't have time, so we've just elected to rob the player of their jumping ability. Yes, you're doing well. Awesome. Shit. Well, we can't go back that way then, I guess. Oh, what on earth is this? My legs have been broken. Yes, they have. You can still walk and you can still dash. You just can't, jump. So, look like you're floating down from the platform. Yeah, Will did fix the falling, but for some reason it seems to have broke. Which I don't entirely understand how, because it was fine when we demoed it yesterday. And we haven't made any changes. It's already up on itch. Like, nothing's changed. But for whatever reason, falling is very slow at the moment. Jumping makes problems. Absolutely. New Materies. Shh. Stop. Shut up, Moonbright. If you keep talking like that, everyone's going to want some. Mouthful of tea. So yes, now we have a sword. Look at this. We can cut. We have a light attack. Oh, but if we right click, we have a heavy attack. Let's go. And instructions up there. Swing, left mouse, stab, right mouse. So left attack, left is a light, right is a heavy, effectively. Now this made me laugh because Will modelled the sword and the shield. And the sword is kind of a mix of cultures. The blade is very gladius shaped, very Roman. But like the crossguard and the tanks, they're more British. They're more like Western European in style, which is very like, it's a great mix. And then the shield is more gamified. Oh yeah, Will did an awesome job with these. I'll show behind the scenes on how these work later on, but he did a solid job with the animations. I was doing a lot more of the scripting and stuff, so I handled like things like boss triggers, boss resetting. I made some of the other models. I made various textures. Like over here, a few of these textures were textures I made. Like, not this bit, but this bit over here looks like one of my textures. I wasn't too happy with them, but they could be worse. Oh, up there, that arch there. Another one of my textures from Blender. Yeah, Will did an awesome job with these. So now, well, we can only go up the stairs and, oh shit! The way is blocked. We can't get through. I mean, well, you can, but you can't get through. Shit, we're gonna have to cut our way through. Like I said, some of the collisions could have done with some more work, but we were really rushing by the end of it. There's 3 boss fights in this game. There's a lot of content for a Game Jam game. We were going to have 4, but again, we ran out of time. And honestly, I wish we'd been able to polish it a little bit more. But yeah, we continue on up. And look at this. We're having to learn how to use the sword here. So more fancy environments. Places like this were going to be where we're going to put the chests that I made. Like I said, I modeled the chests. I prefabbed them. They've got a script to open them and stuff like that. Like they're all set up and ready to go. We just didn't have time to actually put them into the level. Will was the one who made the level. Because of how like Git works and Unity works, we could only have one person working in the main game scene at a time. So I spent most of the time working in a separate dev scene to build things while Will was working in this level, which unfortunately did limit us a bit, but we'll get more into that later on. But the whole idea is you've just picked up this sword, you've got this ability of using the sword, and you're having to learn how to use it to progress through the game. Like, here we go, cutting our way, and man, that slime was strange. I hope that doesn't, I hope the slime doesn't hint to anything in the near future. More textures here. This one was one of mine, this bit on the left. This bit was another one Will got online. Look at this. This obelisk seems to be held up by this strange bit of goop. Let's cut this down. Oh no, shit, why are we falling so slow? Will's gonna be pissed. He did fix this. Oh shit. Changing music? What the fuck is that? Is that a gelatinous cube? Oh shit, it's gonna kill us. Ah, run away! Fuck it. No, come here, you little shit. Come here, you little shit. If we go inside it... Ah, shit, it burns! It burns! You can see how screen starts to go red. We get a red overlay. Pretty cool for a wolf who uses a pacifier. Oh, you little shit. You get the fuck out of here. Been a good day, fixing stuff left and right, enabling to do stuff more efficiently. Really feeding. Hey, who can't do with a bit of an ego boost, eh, Genius? Who can't do with a bit of an ego boost? So yeah, the damage display is very similar to what Will has done for Breakout, where as you take damage, and you take damage while you're inside this boss, you get a red overlay it shows. Now, you do regenerate health. If you don't take damage for a period of time, your health will start to recover. I think it's a 10-second delay. And then there you can skirt. The red's faded. We've recovered our health. And we can get back into the fight. So yeah, this is a gelatinous cube. Kind of similar to... it's pretty much the gelatinous cube from D&D. But Will added this cool little eye effect, which is very nice. Like, I initially made this boss, and then Will added his own touch, kind of improving it. Like, my texture, I think he's still using my original texture, to be fair. He's just added a bit of post-processing to make it look a little cooler. So we start hacking away at this thing. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Like, go on, give it a stab, give it a stab. Oh, shit, what the fuck? What the fuck? Bullshit, it's split into 2. What is this shenanigans? I take damage while I'm inside the boss. Oh, Max, you little shit. You know, there was me almost feeling sorry for you when Lakea gets revenge. Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, what happens if we die, though? Like, some games don't always get a reset in there. Well, let's find out. Ah, no, I'm beat. Shit, we died. We're back up here. It is a bit of a sharp cut. We wanted to like put in a bit of an animation initially, like having something fade into black before bringing you back up. We didn't have time for that. Normally in the past we've done like scene reloads as a way of like resetting. Here we can't really do that because we wanted you to keep upgrades in there. So you do have saves as you progress through the game. Fall back down here and we're ready to go again. Love the slimations. Yeah, Will did a great job with these. Like, I wasn't too happy with my initial implementation. It worked fine. Functionally, it's the same as it was back then. Will just like improved on it a little bit. I'd say a little bit. It looks way cooler than what I initially added. Like the little bounce effect, it was something I discussed with Will. He ended up being the one to add it. There's going to be a lot of Will added this stuff as we talk here. As I said, he was the one working in the main scene, so I was doing a lot of the supporting stuff. I'm also a little gutted that some of the extra work I did didn't make it into the game. Unfortunately, that happens. Again, the usual. We had to cut content, work within the time frame, but there's still a good amount of stuff. Oh, absolutely. Like, absolutely. I don't know how he's done the light. The eye distortions are just because of how he's scaling it in the animation, which is, honestly, it was done that way as a time save initially because it's quicker, but it also works pretty well to have the eye light distort a little as well. It was more of a happy coincidence, that one. So hack away, hack away, hack away, hack away. It would have been nice if we'd gotten some feedback. We had planned, or well, I'd say we planned. We would have wanted to make it so there's some more feedback when you attack the enemy. Like a little particle effect or a sound effect, something like that. You can hear there's a little slime effect when he jumps. That's the only sound effect any of the bosses have. None of the other bosses have any sound effects. Time, once again, it was on my radar. I kept trying to do it, but once again, I was in charge of sound. I didn't get enough time in the main scene to be able to do it because Will was working in it. So, it's what it is, though. It happens. But, okay, back off. Let's regen a bit of health. He's taking a while to go down, this guy. I can't remember how much health he has. Come on. He ain't dying. I don't know why he's not dying. Okay, that's a little bit... That's a little concerning. He does normally die. I'm going to guess if he's not taking damage, it's going to be something to do with the respawn. It's probably something to do with the respawn. That's a little bit concerning. Alright, well, let's close the game and we'll reload back in. If that's a bug, that's a bug. It's a bit annoying, but hey-ho. We were really rushing by the end of it. It became immortal. It's only looking that way. When we get to look at the project files later on, I'll take a look. We'll see if we can find out what's going on behind the scenes there. Like I said, there are definitely some bugs. There's a few glitches you can take advantage of and stuff like that. Bit of a shame, but overall, we're pretty happy with how the game looks. The main thing that annoys me is that stutter. I cannot think of any reason why that stutter's there. Like, it's the trigger it's there is really minor trigger, but for whatever reason, the game just does not like it. Does not like it. Even on the uni PCs, which were beefy me PCs, we'd be going from running at like literally 400 FPS to suddenly stutters at that point, and then it'll be fine again. Absolutely. Glad you're enjoying it, Max. We're still near the start, yeah. This is only the first boss. There's 3 bosses. Now, I will be honest. I struggled to beat the second boss. And I've only fought the 3rd boss like once. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. It was a bit of a gutting. We didn't get to showcase all of it. Because you only get 5 minutes to demo your games at the end of the jam. And yeah, so we only really had time to show the first boss. Will couldn't beat the first boss in time to beat the boss. In fact, he actually died and couldn't seem to kill the boss after that. So I wonder if there is a bug in the game causing at least the first boss, maybe the later bosses as well. I don't know why it'll be the case. It should be all the same, but hey, with how it's set up in the background, there are some very slight differences between the first boss you see and any bosses you see after it's been reset. So, right, let's slowly stab this guy to death. I can't remember the values of all the health of everything off the top of my head. I remember the light attack does 5 damage. Strike, and the heavy attack does 12 damage. I can't remember how much health all the bosses have. I think these guys start with 100 health, and as they get smaller, they start with less and less, but Will was the one that set the values. Usually when we do stuff like this, I will write the functionality. So I wrote the boss scripts to control their behavior and that, but Will be the one who implements them. So I'll set up like a field of values, and then Will like fill in the values required to what fits into the game best. This is because, as I said earlier, I'll be working in a development scene that doesn't go into the game, while Will is working in the actual game scene itself. So I don't have much context for balance at all. I only really have context for the functionality. Will ends up being the one who does that little fine-tuning of like how much damage the player does, how much health the bosses have, and stuff like that. Because he's the one who's actually developing and testing these the actual game versions of it. If that makes sense. There we go. Slowly slashing our way through these. These guys, there's actually quite a few of them. Oh, fuck me. Damn it, genius. Oh, take a bit of damage. Run away, run away, run away. Oh, I keep forgetting we've got this dash attack. I don't remember this more often. Here we go. Slowly going now. Slowly work our way through it. Slowly work our way through it. Go on, pick off your little shits. Ow! Yeah, so with the regen, I think it starts 10 seconds after the last time you were attacked, and then you recover 2 health every second. So, like, your health comes back fairly quickly. Oh, your max health is 100 for context. So, if you'd be able to recover all your health back in, like, 50 seconds or something like that. Unfortunately, the battle music only lasts for, like, a minute, so it does loop quite frequently. Again, I set it up to be able to take more than that. For the most part, actually. No, maybe I didn't. I think I ran out of time. Some of the music was very much, like, shoved in at the last moment once again. Here we go. It's really annoying by the end. You get all of these guys. Now, there was actually going to be an extra little mechanic with this one. There's a script in here, and it's technically still being applied. When you're inside the gelatinous cube, your speed takes a heavy reduction. Oh, there we go. We'd be the bottom. Ooh, look at that. A weird and wonderful portal. But before we go in there, as I said, when you're inside the first boss, technically, they, like, slow you down when you're inside them. But unfortunately, we were having some bugs. It was taking me too long to fix them. So in the end, I had to disable that particular bit. The problem was when there was multiple of them, you could technically be inside multiple of the bosses at the same time, which slowed you down more and more. Also, your speed wasn't resetting properly after you killed them. Given more time, I could have got it working, but time was not our friend, so it was better to just disable it so that you could continue to play the game properly. Would have been awesome if they spread out and swarm you. That would have been cool, and yeah. Maybe next time we'll bear that in mind. I think for all the bosses, it would have been nice if we'd been able to go over them and make some tweaks. But, like, Will was literally, like, still working on the last boss in, like, the last, like, hour or two. Things really were rushed at the end of the jam. Like, this is why I didn't post many screenshots in the Discord. I fully intended to. I've just completely forgotten the rush of time. But yeah, that would have been a cool feature. You're right. Would have been a cool idea. But hey, look at this. And ooh, look at this. We're back in the hub world. Well, we've already been that way, but wait. This way was boarded up. How do we get through here? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Aha! Look at that. Look at that. We can break down these boards. So now it seems very complete. Yeah, like I said at the start, I think it's before you came in, Julius, this game is not as polished as we usually like to get our games. This game is rough around the edges than we normally like our games to be. We've just run out of time a little bit. Some of it was due to some unforeseen issues. We had this weird thing. We had to make a new project like I think it was 4 times at the start of the jam, because we're having this really weird bug with Unity in the in like the first hour of the jam, where every time we made a new project, Unity was like, yeah, you know, like physics? Yeah, physics isn't a thing. I don't understand physics. You need to import the physics package. And me and Will were like, what the fuck? We have never seen this before. Unity, for some reason, just didn't think that any of its physics engine was added and that we had to import it. So we lost like a good hour trying to deal with that. It was a pain in the ass. You need to add your narration in game as a ghastly voice. That would be cool. Like I said, I did record some sound effects. They're going to be like grunts for the player and stuff like that. Like when you were falling, when you took damage, when you were doing attacks. But I didn't even have time to get them off my phone into project files, yet let alone build them into a game itself. But yeah, once we're able to cut through here. Oh no, another board. Oh, we're trapped again. Oh, well, what's this? We get another upgrade, and now we can block. Look at this. Blocks hold space. Heck yeah. Oh, shit. We've got another arrow trap. How the hell? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, hell yeah. Look at this. And more to the point, the game is teaching you how to beat the next boss. So the whole idea of these areas was that the area before the boss would teach you, the player, the mechanics you need in order to beat the first boss. So in the first area, you pick up the sword. You have to use the sword, to cut through the slime to get to the first boss. You then use the sword to cut at the first boss. This area, slide. Oh, well, no going back now, to quote The Hobbit. This area, you pick up the shield. You have to use the shield to block the arrows in the arrows traps. So what do you think we need to do to beat the second boss? Well... Oh shit, fucking hell, he started firing quick. Look at this little shit, hey! Now, I don't know why he looks like something out of like a disco derby from the 70s with like an Egyptian theme on him, but hey, look. When you've been away for 40 hours and that, you start making strange decisions. Will was the one who made the model. I did the arrows and the particle effects and script. To be honest, pretty cool. Like, strange with the theming, but it works pretty well. So the way this boss works, the first box, the cube, fairly simple AI. He just keeps trying to move towards you as the player. This one's a little bit smarter. There's a series of waypoints around the room, and he will move between the waypoints and always try and move to the waypoint that is furthest away from the player. However, he can only shoot the player while he is stationary. So you have to try and block, and then as he's moving, you make your attacks, and then you go back to blocking as he's moving away. So block, 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 getting close as he's moving. Hack and slash, hack and slash. You all be careful though, because the arrows can pile up. Look at that, you can see him bouncing off the shield and all sorts. Oh, get in there, get in there, get in there. I think this boss has 40 health, Will said. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to let my health regen now. Let's see. Seems more competent, I think the word. Then so the other. Sure, it's not as pity I'm missing some audio, but the animations are tighter, the level designs better, moves more fit into challenges. All in all, tighter than your previous ones. Oh, appreciate it, dude. Yeah, we are pretty happy with this one. Like, the movement feels good. The animations are solid. Like, you can see where the time was spent. Like, the level design and the thought behind it and stuff, so much better. And then, like, the way we've planned it out in terms of the bosses, the way you fight them, the way the game teaches you and stuff. Me and Will were discussing that at the start of the jam, and I still have, like, the scrap paper that we made the plans on. Like, I always take graph paper with me to the jams, and we always start the jam by, like, going over ideas and designs and stuff like that on the graph paper. I'll take some pictures of the graph paper after the stream. Remind me in the reminders channel on Discord, and I'll take some pictures. I'll post them in the Discord after. But it's appreciated. Glad you like it, Devious. Glad you're liking it. He's a speedy bugger. Personally, I think some of our other games might be a little stronger in some areas, but I definitely agree with you, Devious, that like our movement and the design in this one is probably one of our stronger ones. Looking at it. Hey, there we go. He did not quite die the way he was meant to there. Huh. Okay, something went wrong. Like, he's meant to, like, pop into his, like, component pieces, and they're meant to fall apart. That didn't happen. I don't entirely know why. Again, we'll look at the project files later on. Oh, okay, hang on. I've just saw something I forgot. I swear I was working on my system. Tell me about it. So, Will did put a face on, that boss there. But he didn't quite like it. It looked a bit comedic. So he removed it from the model. But if we look down... I don't know why he did this, but it's fucking brilliant. These are the move and interact with playing in a much better way than just sticking to something. Yeah, I wanted to do a little more with the arrows. I wanted to have them have a longer life cycle and stuff like that. But we ran out of time. We actually had to, again, we had to cut a little bit of them. The arrows initially would live a lot longer. The issue we found was the arrows would sit on the floor for this boss, and then as the player walked over them, the player was still taking damage. This is because the arrows are using the particle system in Unity. So each arrow is its own particle, and when it collides with something, it sends a message back to the boss. Now there's other ways around we could have overcome this, like check that the arrows still have velocity or anything like that before damaging the player. But again, we ran out of time, so the easiest way was just to reduce the lifespan of the arrows so they weren't sitting on the floor for too long. So there's that boss. We've fought 2 of the bosses. Now back to the port, and look at this. Back in the hub world, but wait. There was something blocking us from getting to the 3rd one. Can we get through it? Oh, maybe we can, but hang on. Before we go that way, couldn't we... Can we cut through these webs? No? No? Darn it. I mean, technically, collisions are optional, but, let's pretend collisions are not optional. Fuck, we can't get through it. Well, I guess we'll have to go through the traps then. Ah, don't boop me. No, I'm busy. Feck off with your booping. Leave me alone. Well, back to this way then. Just having to don't mind me casually flying through. Ooh, look at this. This place looks like it's fallen over a little bit. Oh, what's that? What's that? Could it be? We get a new power-up. Oh, what is this? Holy shit, we have a flaming sword. We have a fiery sword. Hell fucking yeah. But that, we're blocked by more webs. But wait, our sword couldn't cut through the webs before we had fire. Maybe a fiery sword can cut through the webs. Look at, okay, well, yeah, we've cut through the webs. Exactly, fire aspect, let's go. But wait, how do we get through here? For we have lost the ability to jump. Or have we? This strange fan seems to be webbed up. I wonder if we can loosen it. Look at that. What happens if we... Let's go! Hey, thanks for the love, Devious. Appreciate it. Take care, dude. Leaving the visible plan. Plane, I'm assuming that's meant to be. But now, how do we get up there? Maybe there's another fan. More of my textures here. Let's see. Hey, get that training in, Wolf Warrior. Play, yeah, I assumed you meant playing. Look at this. Look at this. Comboing moves. Let's go. Ooh, this is fancy. Ooh, training montage. Let's go. I mean, like, our own game music's kind of drowning it out, but still, you get the gist. You get the gist. So, moving on. Hey, nice job with that kidnap wolf warrior. Clear the spot. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I don't like the look of this. What on earth is that? And before, holy shit, we're being webbed. Fuck, no. Before you ask, no, it is not a spider. It's a scarab beetle. Why is it a scarab beetle and not a spider? Well, the reason for that is because Will did not want to have to animate the 8 legs of a spider. So for some reason, he decided to animate the 6 legs of a beetle. I don't know why, like, if I suspect it was another decision made. This was, again, like 36 hours in. Will had not slept at this point at all. He didn't get some sleep until later on, so that's the reason behind that. So to beat this boss, we've got to use our training of the earlier sections to clear these cobwebs and use the fans to get up. And what's that? Ew! It's an eye. I wonder if we stab the eye, can we use it to beat this nefarious and nasty looking creature? Freeing up the fans, we gotta get up. He is a fiddly ass boss fight, this. Cool as fuck if I say so myself, but fiddly as fuck. Heck off with your cobwebs. Ah, love this fight mechanic. Awesome, glad you're enjoying it, dude. Come here, you little shit. Come here. Nah, fuck. I fell. Now block his attacks. Take the time to regen some health. Nice. Popping, webbing everything up again. Ah. Now, fun fact, this guy is actually using the same script as the second boss. They both behave the exact same way. The difference is, there's an invisible plane up here that this guy is running on. And he has waypoints up here. And once again, he just moves to the waypoint that's furthest away from the player and starts spewing the player with cobwebs. Once you get up here, these movements make it awkward to stay up there, which make it really awkward to try and attack and kill. That is intentional, because we don't want to make it too easy for you to kill him. No. Why would it be easy? Nah, shite. Come here. Come here. Ah! He's a tricky one, this one. I don't want to die either, because I don't want to have to fight the first 2 bosses. There are respawn points, but as we've already shown, it looks like there might be a bug in that, which is a little bit gutting. Genuinely a little bit annoying. But hey ho, these things happen. Come on. Come on, I'm determined to beat this guy. Determined to beat this guy. You move slower when blocking, so you can't just hold that forever, but it does give you a chance to recover health. On. On. There we go. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ah, damn it. He doesn't seem to be dying. I know he can die. I know he can die, so I don't know why he's not. Like, I have beaten him before, so I'll be a little bit miffed if he's suddenly not working. I know Will be a bit gutted as well, because we genuinely thought we had the game in, like, a playable and winnable condition. There we go. Oh. Well, I've just noticed another bug. For one, the eye stays up there, and 2, if you keep attacking it, So if you keep attacking that, you can keep restarting the music. I think the reason... Oh, the eye's gone. There we go. If I had to guess, the reason behind this is when the boss dies, it changes the music in the music manager and activates the portal. However, the body doesn't go for the boss straight away. Now, while the eye was up there, you could keep attacking the eye, and every time you attack it, it's running the death script every time it detects its health is below 0. And it checks if the health is below 0 every time it takes damage. So you can keep attacking it. That'll be why. It will emotionally spoil you as a fellow jammer bug experiencer. Every jam game will have bugs. You will be hard-pressed to ever find a jam game without bugs. Here we go. Even as like a team who are normally pretty good at getting our games to be fairly well polished and in a good state of game to play, all of our games still have some bugs in there. It's usual. It's not. At the end of the day, you're trying to do something that normally takes months or years to do and do it in like a few short days. So you always gonna have some misbehaviors in there. But as we now know, we can now clear cobwebs. I wonder what this final tunnel will behold for us. And look, we have uncovered treasure. Let's go as a cinematic end. It plays. But wait. No! We're trapped forever! We're going to starve! And now the game starts once again as we go back to the start of the game. When are we going to see the mummies? That's the thing, Moonbright. It's at... I have just noticed another bug. I've just noticed another bug. Our mouse is disabled for the game because you don't want your cursor moving around while you're looking around in the game. But we never uncapture it, so you can never the main menu's useless after you've played the game. Oops. Minor details. But yeah, hang on. If I run this again now with the mouse working once again. Here we go. Wait. Oh, no, that wasn't what I meant to have done. I wanted to press play, you muppet. Yeah, muppet. Muppet. Let's see. Right, try that again. Alright. So, yeah. There's only one place you see a mummy, and it's here. Will literally took the time to model the inside of the casket and the mummy to use it once. But as I said, there are like assets in the game that just aren't used and stuff like that. It's not because we didn't want to. It was simply a case of time. Like he only really got to show it off in one area. Like I said, you see these chests. The full version of them does open. That I'll show you in the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. Yes, payback is now. Absolutely it is. Lakea, go and get him. Proud of you, Materies. Hey, appreciate it. But honestly, it was a lot of fun. It was a good bit of fun. Like 10th Global Game Jam. Really happy to have like done it and to like still be making games. So that's the game itself. Now we get to show a little bit of the behind the scenes. I should have put us in the game dev category, really. Now leave us in the just chatting. No, I'll change the stream thing to game dev. Hang on. Game development. Here we go. Done. Really? Seribot hasn't caught that one? Wow. That is the first time in a long time I do not have my mod tools. Why am I not mod tools working? No, I don't want to do that. Oh, Why can I not see me mod tools? Come on, Twitch. Hang on, give me a sec. About chat. No. Show mod icons. Here we go. Right, let's ban that guy. Not timeout. Ban. There we go. Baby Bright, fart in your direction? Rather not, thanks. Yeah, I'm surprised. Seri's normally pretty good at handling those. Huh. Where is Seri? That's... I could have swore we saw Seri at the start of the stream. Huh. Alright, I'll have to check on that later on. I'm just like scrolling through the chat now to see if I see any Seri messages. I'm sure we saw Seri earlier. All right, well, we'll keep an eye out for that. Something's clearly not worked there. Bit of a shame. But hey ho, it happens. It happens. Anyway, so let's show sort of behind the scenes now, shall we? Let's bring the music back. Let's bring the music back. Oh shit, I've got a lot of blue sky notifications. They can be shown later on. Why am I not getting any music here? Oh, it's probably really quiet because I turned down the audio because the fucking game audio. All right. There we go. There we go. All right, let's Hey, see? What? Okay, don't know. Seri being kind of blah blah. Yeah, thingy, whatever. Anyway, so let's show the project itself now, shall we? I'll turn that down a bit again. There we go. Let me know if the music audio needs any tweaking at all. He says just making no mind tweaking OBS. So here's the project itself. I don't know what this green thing is. I suspect it's light of some kind. Probably something. We'll put. Okay, it's canvas menu. That will be why. So when I say I normally work in a different dev scene, this is what I mean. I end up in like a little scene like this. And you can see where I like work on things. So like this is a substitute for the player where you can see I'm working. I was working on the scripts like the player health, not the player controller. That was something Will had touched up. But here you can see this did have the script for the second boss. Don't know where that's gone. But either way, like I was testing out bosses. You can see some of the chests and that I set up. So these were all ready to go. So if I like play this and I take the player substitute, hang on. You bugger off for now. Do that. So like with the chest, I'd spend the time to get them going. And funnily enough, these even had sound and stuff like that. If I move over here, you can see that the chest's open. Like, so the idea was once the player gets close enough to them, the chests would open. They're a little bit close to the floor here. If I bring them up a bit, we can get a proper look inside them. But yeah, these were all like good to go. Something's gone wrong with that lid. It's a bit far away. I must have moved the lid a little bit. But yeah, if I lift that. I know why. Lift the whole chest up, not just... There we go. So yeah, we've got this. We're going to like put masks and that inside these. So that was going to be the thing to tie it into the theme. But didn't quite get the time to do it. But yeah, like, so these were all set up. If I select it, you can see it's there. It's got the audio. It's animated, stuff like that. And we had it like prefabbed here, like a prefab ready to go. Just didn't get it in. I am a little good because I'm actually fairly happy with these chests. Like, they're not bad. They're not bad considering I whipped them up fairly quickly. Get close enough, chest will open. Get your head out the gutter. So yeah, this is where I usually end up spending most of jam working. I don't usually work in the levels themselves. And this is because we usually use GitHub in order to share the files with each other. It makes working on the same project a lot easier. But the risk is that when two people work on the same file at the same time, you can have merge conflicts where Git gets confused between which version of the file to take. There are ways you can like reduce the risk of that and stuff like that, but for the sake of a jam, we usually just work in different areas to avoid it. And so that means that only Will works in the main scene, because effectively this is just one big YAML file. The way Unity stores all this data, if I come up to the top again. Here we go, back over to the start. So the way Unity stores all this data is it has the data on what all these objects are. So it stores the data on the models and stuff like that. And then if we go to the file itself, scenes, and we open up sample scene, open with Visual Studio Code. A Unity scene is effectively one big YAML file. So this is going to mean very little to most folks. But what this data effectively is it stores an ID of an object, so that it knows what objects are used in the scene. And then it stores things like the position of the object, so where in the scene it is. Does it have any components on it? So things like audio, for example. Things like collision colliders on the objects. So a scene file is literally just one huge text file that stores what objects you have in there, where those objects are, and what components are on them. But as I said, if you have multiple people working at the same time, Git can get confused, which is why typically only Will works on the main scene, because he enjoys and is way better at doing things like the level design and like sprucing it up and like putting in the visual flair than I am. Whereas I'm much more of like the developer and the sort of the enabler in the way, building the functionality, which doesn't need everything to look good. I just need components in order to test it against. Hence why in the past where I've shared screenshots, usually they either come from Will to send to me, or the screenshots I take are from the dev scene I work in, because that's all I need in order to do the stuff I do. So yeah, if we come here then, you can see the little starting area. Got all the lights and that. So if we go down to the altar area, if we come down here, you can see this is actually the, let's disable the main menu for a second, because that's in the way. In fact, can we just move the menu to like a different place? No. Fine, we'll just disable it for now. Now we can see this is the main room that we've brought down. So there's the hall. So you can see if we kind of come up a load. There are triggers for this in here. There's one. So there's a trigger. And for some reason, it's this trigger, this start audio trigger, that seems to cause that stutter that I was complaining about. I don't know why, because all it's really doing is disabling one game object, enabling another, and that shouldn't be like enough to cause a stutter. It's fairly minimal tasking, but for reasons that I don't understand, that's what causes the stutter when you hit that trigger object. But as I said, the main thing behind this is it just fades out the music that you hear at the start, the foreboding stuff, and changes it more to the second music you hear when you're down in the altar room. If we come back here, Oh man, I'm really happy with what Will did with some of this. This room looks awesome. Usually we prefer to make all assets ourselves in the jam, but some of the stuff that he got online did really help sell this. Like these hieroglyphics and stuff like that. The low resolution is kind of on purpose. We were trying to go for sort of like that sort of low poly, but not like low resolution look. Almost like you sort of like PS1 to PS2, or maybe not quite PS1, PS2. Almost like Thief. You know how in Thief you've got like that low poly and kind of like low resolution look to it? Those were the kind of vibes we were going for. I appreciate it, Max. We are pretty happy. Like, I wish we'd got it to have a little more polish. I wish we'd had the time to be able to patch up a few of the bugs. But overall, very happy with this. Very happy with it. Funnily enough, you saw the particle effect where I broke these boards. The keen eye amongst you might have noticed that that wasn't splinters. Those were arrows coming off that. And that was simply because, like, to save time, we'll just reuse the arrow model from the jam. Like, if we go in the models thing and open up Blender. Right, here we go. So this is the arrow I threw together in the gem. And I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm actually very happy with how this arrow looks. Like, again, low res, simple, nothing, like, massive. But it's worked very well. Like, it's not even that low, that high poly. Like, how many vertices? Blender keep moving how many vertices everything stuff has. It does me nothing. Hang on. Blender 5.0 show object try count. How do we do this? Next time use splinters. Oh, that's hilarious. You know what? That could be an idea. Get the viewport overlays button. Circles up. Orientation. Okay. Statistics. Here we go. Here we go. So what have we got? One object, 31 vertices. So it's really not that. It's a very small model, but it looks like. And I did not spend long on it, but like I was pretty happy with it. You can see we've got two versions here. So I mentioned earlier I was boiling textures and that down to a single material. The reason for this is if I load up this version of it, took a little bit longer to render. You can see there's a little more detail on it. That's because on this object, we have the materials themselves and they're rendering to a higher resolution because that's how I originally modeled them. So that I could change all this up if we wanted. So if I go to say like the shaft, I could like change the color and that if I wanted by moving all this around or whatever. So like doing this meant that if I was to export, if we were to use this object, then this object would have 3 material slots in Unity and we could fill in a slot for each material. Now the advantage of doing it that way is you can separate each material and render each material slightly differently to make it look even better. The downside is it's more rendering for your GPU. So every time your GPU draws a frame, at least in a Unity game, when it renders the model, it renders the mesh of the model, so the shape of it, and then it will render each material on that model for each frame. So if you've got one model with 3 materials on it, it's going to take longer for that to render than one model with a single material. So a good way to optimize things when you don't need to like have the extra eye candy is to compile everything down to one model, one material rather. So like I hadn't done that in the past because I just hadn't learned. So I was doing it this jam more to learn. As I said earlier, we didn't need to because our game was too small to really worry about needing to optimize. But it was a good thing to learn. So the way we do that is we bake the textures as you've seen me do before. So we make an arrow, we run down here, and we bake each texture individually. We can then make a copy of our model, and this model we only give a single material. We give it a new material, and we re-import the textures we've just used to create that look. Now this looks worse because I rendered these at quite a low resolution. It's also because I haven't got any light in the Blender scene, yada yada yada, detail. But it means that when we import it into Unity and we say, let's pull the arrow out, it's going to be a bit on the big side. We have two versions down here. If I unpack this one, unpack completely, we look at the Blender one, we can see it's got 3 materials, as I was talking about. If we take the Unity one and just bring it out a little bit, we can see this one only has the 1 material. So as I said, it's just saving on that GPU compute, and it still looks absolutely fine. So it's one of those things where it's knowing when to like make the most of like allowing yourself to have that high visual fidelity, and where you can like save it a little bit, because most of the time these arrows are moving too fast anyway for you to really get a good look at them. It's more optimized to have it all as a single mesh or single material. So yeah, that was sort of stuff I was learning over the jam. Pretty neat. Let's see. So let's come back through here, shall we? Let's look back through here. So here's where we get the sword and that. Now, as a little bit of a thing, if we go on the player actually already has the sword and shield from the start. All we're doing when we get over there is we disable that sword, and we then enable the sword the player has. And this is just because it's easier, like trying to like move one game object onto another parent and stuff like that is a bit of a faff. So oftentimes it's easier to just have things in place already and then just turn them on when you need them. And then these bits here are effectively the colliders. So this is how the game detects collision for the player's attack. So when the player makes a swing at something, it enables a small collider in front of the player. And if a boss is inside that collider, then it'll take damage from the player there. So that's a little something. Now, one thing we wanted to know was if we... Oh, hang on, I'm going to have to re-enable the menu. We were having a bit of a bug where... Oh, hang on. That does not need to be in 4K. Change it to 50. Here we go. We'll leave the stats up so you can get a bit of an idea on how it's going. Pause the music for a moment. So we had a few bugs that we wanted to check out. One of which is, I'm not sure you can beat... If you fight a boss like the first boss and then die and go back and fight it later on, I'm not sure that was working properly. Let's take a bit of a gander, shall we? So you can see, like, up here, again, see, it stutters, and I could not figure out why. Oh, hang on. Let's make it so you can hear the sound again. The audio level. There we go. Turn the audio down so I'm not deafening myself. Oh, there is also one thing with the player movement controller. If you look down and keep looking down. Oh, you're upside down and keep looking down. Keep looking down. Keep looking down. You end up roly-polying a little bit. Normally you would clamp that. You put a limit on it. Didn't have time. Right, let's grab this. You can see now the swords enabled, we could go on here and give ourselves the shield if we wanted. That's the kind of thing you can do when running it in the engine to debug a little bit. And if you can see when we make a swing, these colliders are turning on. So if I run it here, oh, that is not what I want to do. There, across. So if I swing, you can't quite see the animation in the scene view, but if you look in the hierarchy, you can see that our triggers are enabling, and that's how we would check for the bosses taking damage. Right, anyway, let's move on up. I want to go to the first boss, get killed by the first boss, then go back down to see what's going on with that. Because it could very well be a very minor bug. The boss resets and that were still being worked on right up until the end. So it's more than possible there's something we've missed. Here we go. Right. See, here we're falling properly. I don't know why we weren't falling properly in our build version then. That's a little bit odd. Do you consider ourselves privileged for this BTS opportunity? Oh, I? What's the BTS here, dude? Anyway, so if we, I don't know, we wanted to die to him, didn't we? I could reduce our health, but... Oh, the behind the scenes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I love getting to share this stuff with you. Genuinely love getting to show you guys the behind the scenes. For some reason, I was thinking bloopers. I was thinking bloopers for some reason. Anyway, right. Let's pause this for a moment. So we don't die again. So we have time to, like, work on through this. Let's just close all this up. Let's change the player's health. There we go. Right. So now we're not going to die so quickly. Let's take a look at what's going on here. You can see some of the collider and that for the boss now. Madness Cube. Now we can see the health and that of him. So he is taking damage. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Hang on. You have an error. Ah, okay. Okay, that's our problem. Parent transform hasn't been set. Really? I distinctly remember setting that. So is it... Boss parent is set there. Okay. So the issue that's going on is the boss has a parent transform, which is a reference to this. That's there for a couple of reasons. The main one being that when we need to track, as a game, we need to track when the boss dies. Now, for the other two bosses, this is easy because you've only got one boss, and when its health hits 0, boom, it's dead. For this boss, it's a little bit tricky because when the first boss dies, well, you've no longer got one boss, you've now got two. And when they die, it splits further. So this makes it a little bit more difficult to tell when the boss fight has actually ended. So the boss parent has a script on it that tracks how many of like the little shitlings are left from the first boss and determines when the fight actually ends. Which means our gelatinous cube needs to be able to, or all of our cubes need to be able to talk to the boss parent and able to tell it how many of them are still alive. However, Now, where for the first one that's in the game, it has the reference to it, but for some reason, when it resets and it respawns the boss, it doesn't seem to be saying that transform. I wonder why that might be. Let's, like this object here has the script. You can see boss reset. This is what handles the respawning of all the bosses. Let's have a quick gander at the code, shall we? See if we can figure it out. It's a little late to make changes to the game. I could make changes to a version on itch, but I'm not likely to. The active instantiate. Ah, yeah, we're not actually setting it. We are not. Or do we do it here, maybe? Come on. Boom. No, we don't. Okay, yeah. Ah, well, that's a mistake. That could be fixed with literally like 1 or 2 lines of code. That could be fixed with just a few lines of code. Like, it would literally be fixed if I come here and we do, let's see, what would it be? It'll just be cube.getComponent script first. No, not first boss fight ends. What? Gelatinous cube. Set parent transform variable. That line of code would fix that. That line of code would fix that. And here we go. With that saved, if we okay, it might not work on this instance because the game was already running before I applied the fix. But if we rerun this now, I bet that's gonna work. If we go to our player, let's just set our health to 1. Oh, that's not gonna work because our health will recover. Shit, forgot about that. You can already see our health recovering when I move my tail. Whoops. Oh well, we'll just go and get killed by the boss. Grab the sword. Let's see. I'm a little annoyed. Genuinely a little annoyed. I'm gonna tell Will about that and he's gonna be a bit gutted. Like, you can still beat the game. It just means that if you do die, at least to the first boss, you've got to reset. The second and third bosses, it might be fine. We'd have to have a look, but the first ones might be. Shitlings need to be comes out every day word. Oh, absolutely. I need to trademark that word. I don't, like, that's complete bullshit. I doubt I even could, but still, that's my word. My word, you know? You're my little shitlings. Oh, right, here we go. Let's come back here. See, again, we're falling properly here, so I don't know why we weren't falling in the build version. That's a little bit odd. Here we go. Quickly dying. Now we're back up here. Let's go back down here. And, well, we don't even need to fight him. We can just select him. And look at that. Parent transform. Parent transform. So this means if we go back to our game view, and if we start fighting him, it's going to work this time. Provided I don't die in the process. I should have upped my own health. Now let's back up and get some help. Spin! Forgot to resubscribe. No! No, Max! Ah, well. There's plenty of time. You can always get it back later. There we go. Yeah, and look at that. Oh. Oh. Jeez. Okay, well, now there's other books. Well, fuck me. That's not what I expected to happen. Fuck! Fuck! Oh, man. Oh, well. Clearly, there was still other bugs. So, like, as I said, that one line fixes that bug, but I'm going to remove it. Because we're not going to fix the game. No, Moonbite, you little shit. You little shit. Ah, dang it. Hey, Lakea, reckon there's space on the mats for an extra one alongside Max? What do you mean promote? I need to get rid of this First Lady and President. I don't like people challenging my authority. Hell no, we can't be having this. Can't be having this. This is a dictatorship, you hear me? You hear me? Gee, I wonder why I keep getting nets thrown at me all the time. Oh, man. So, yeah. Now, I might, maybe at some point, may do it up and fix all the other bugs. But we always like to keep our Game Jam games as they were. We're a bit, I guess, traditionalist or whatever. We like to have our projects, and instead they were at the end of the Game Jam. Just because it feels more genuine for us. It's not that we have problems with other people like doing them up or anything. We just like to show our games as they were during the jam because like the project was to get as much as we could done during that jam. Once or twice we have like done it up. So like Mech Fuckers, which was that was the project name for what was it called? Overthrow Materies, Maximus for president. Nah, never gonna happen. Maximus is going to go for a very long boat ride. He may or may not be willing to do. Don't know what you're on about. He's a pirate. He absolutely loves it. Clearly. But yeah, like Mech Fuckers was, what was the name of that game? You know you've done too many game jams where you can't even remember the names of all your fucking games. Hang on. Oh, I can visualize it in my head. How was it? Home is where the mech is, that's it. So, like, the reason we did two versions for this one was because it was Twitch integrated. So you could only, I think I've shown it off before, but the issue was you could only play the game on the Game Jam version if you were streaming on Twitch. Ah, what do you mean slip it to the face? What did I do to deserve that? I mean, sure, I might have helped Lakea catch Max, but besides that, what did I do to deserve the slipper, eh? But yeah, so because it had Twitch integration, it meant you could only play it during the live stream. So for this one, the itch version, I made a second version of it so you could still play the game solo. So you had the option between playing it on live stream or playing it by yourself. But it's still two separate project files because we want to keep the original project files as they were for the jam itself. Just because that's how we like to do it. So we do occasionally do up some of our games, but most of the time we keep as it is. Actually, Time to Kill was another one. For the most part, the game was kept the same. All we did was remove sort of the levels, and the reason for that was the levels were another. You're really loving that emote, aren't you? Yeah, the levels for this one was dynamically generated. It was actually done by having everything set as prefabs. And, ooh, Moonbright with the looping bow emote. You've normally got to unlock that one. Neat. Yeah, so everything was set as prefabs for Time to Kill. But then you would load in a picture file. And the idea was that we could all make as many maps as we wanted, stick them in the game files, and the game would read the pixel colors, and it would generate the map based off the color of each pixel, because each pixel color would stand for a different object in the game and would generate the map based off that. But we had another person with us for that jam who didn't, let's just say some of his levels didn't work. If there was some interesting decisions in them. So we end up having to like cut them out and upload that one just so that again, the game was playable. The mechanics and everything are all the same, and the rest of it was absolutely, like, worked fine. It was just, unfortunately, those few levels we had to remove. But for the most part, we tend to keep our jams and the projects as they were. But yeah, maybe we'll do it up. Maybe we'll do it up. Dancing cricket, love that. Love that one. So let's take a look. So that was like I love Will's level design, but it is awkward to try and look around the where's the that's player cam. Name menu. Disable that from. Right, where the fuck is this here we go. So this is the first boss room. We've been there. Let's go take a look at the second boss, shall we? Now this one might reset fine. We would have to test it, but I'm not going to run through the whole game, like testing each individual reset. Go back this. Let's bring the music back. Let's see. Second boss was this way. Boom. Go. And Will really did do a great job with this level design. Awesome job with it. Click off that. So here we go. So here's the place for the second boss. I never actually looked up, so I didn't realize we could thing. So yeah, here we go. Mech boss. Oh, why is mech boss? Oh, don't know why that's. What's different? Yeah, Will's done a change there. I don't know quite what's going on there, but there'll be a reason for it. But the reason I was surprised at the way this guy died, I'll show you what's meant to happen when he dies. If I do a cheeky little thing here. So all this is going to do is this is going to call his death function 3 seconds after we turn him on. So if we come here and play. Now the game's running. If I activate him, he'll die in like 3 seconds. Come on. Not worked for him. Okay, something's different with that boss. Let me look at the old one. Huh. I wonder what's going on there. He's meant to burst apart. Object, mechanical. Oh! Oh, I know what's going on. This will be because the music got shoehorned in last minute. Hang on. Hang on. Let me see. Where's the music object? There we go. Give these guys the music. That's why it's failing. I'm all out of arrows. Oh, phew. I mean, oh no, what a shame. What a shame. Oh, I guess you're not going to be able to throw any more nets. Oh, that's such a horrible hardship. I don't know how you're going to manage. I'm sure you'll get him back, Moonbright. Anyway, so now that we've done that, this is what happens when you try and shoehorn things in last minute. It's very easy to break things. So if I run this now, and teleporter. Are you kidding me? Oh. Teleport. I don't even remember adding teleporter for this. There we go. He's got teleporter though. And this is why you don't shoehorn things in right at the end. That's gutting. I really liked the way he died. Oh. That's what? Hey? Huh. He was not meant to die that way. Let's try this one. He's got teleporter and all that. Come on. Pop apart. Hey, there we go. That's what's meant to happen. So he's meant to like pop apart like that so that he falls. But hey ho. These things happen. These things happen. Do that. Damn. Oh man. Alright, well yeah, we can see the different states here. So yeah, so this is what I mean. I write a lot of these scripts, and then Will, when he brings in the models into the main scene, he ends up tweaking these. So I didn't actually know how much health this guy has. Oh yeah, Will did tell me, 40 health. Don't know how much damage he does. That'll be on, if we step into him and we grab the, here we go. These are the particle effects that fire the arrows. So if we enable that, grab that, and we click off, hit play, you can start to see the arrows come out, which is pretty neat. Works pretty well, that. Works pretty well. I was very happy with this particle system I put together. I'll start off, there we go. Let's go have a look at the third boss, shall we? Scarab boss, here we go. Here we go. Did we re-enable? Put that back. Here we go. So Scarab boss is back here. Now I've not actually looked at the Scarab boss in the project files yet. He was added pretty late on, and I was like really trying to like fix some various bugs and get some other stuff in at this point. So I don't know entirely how we'll set him up. I know he's using the same script as the second boss. What is he? Oh, I've not got him selected, that's why. Scarab, here we go, Scarab boss. Yeah, so mechanical archer, so like I said, he's functionally the same as the first boss. He works the, not the first boss, the second boss. He works the exact same way as the second boss. So that saved us a bit of time having to do more writings there, more coding. Animator and all that, I gotta say, I do not envy Will trying to animate all those legs. I did see him trying to do it at one point. It looks like an absolute bitch. Like, I think you in particular, Max, can probably appreciate just how much effort like that probably was. I do not envy him having to do that. Yeah, like, it was Will's idea to have the fans in, like, I'd set up a lot of the other bits, but I didn't know about the fans until later on. And honestly, I think they look really good as well. I like the style we went for this. We used to do, earlier on in our jamming days, we did low poly, but we went for solid coloring style. And you can see this in a lot of our earlier games, such as here, Lone Astronaut and that, where it's a lot more solid, color vertices and stuff like that. Same with Where Home is Where the Mech is. I think I actually prefer this style, where it's kind of like low poly-ish, but we're still applying textures. I genuinely think it's an underrated art style on the whole. Like high poly, high fidelity looks great, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. I kind of like games with this art style. Like, they're fun to make, they're fun to play. I'd like to see more of these. Will did solid animations. Yes, I do appreciate. Yeah, as an animation student, I knew you would appreciate those. But he did do an amazing job with them. Well done. Awesome. Thanks, Moonbright. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. What would I have done differently? Except fun to watch. Wow. Yeah. You're definitely joining Max at the mast now. No. Bye. See you later. No. You've thrown one too many nets. You've made one too many jokes. No. You can start firing your roasts from the mast. Does Moonbright even know about that bit of artwork? I'm assuming you've told her about it, Max. Oh, man. Where's this baby Materies come from? Once again, I have no idea where some of these jokes come from. Fucking mummies, of course. Fucking Mummy Monday. Oh, what are we doing with our lives? Oh, man. But yeah, so what would we have done? What would we have done differently? Well, it's not really something to have done differently, but we can't. It sucks that we lost like a good hour to having to remake the Unity project at the start. That didn't help. We were actually also doing some work on last year's game as well. Not long, but effectively at the university, they have these little gaming cabinets that people can play on. Just in like the university, and they like to upload game jam games to them, and they really wanted us to get Wave Riders on there because like they like having like some of the games that have won game jams added to those, and they particularly like to have games added by Illumini like myself, because it helps like encourage like students and that to get involved. So initially me and Will were going to do it after the jam last year, but we just didn't get round to it. But we've said, we're here. Should be a fairly quick and easy job. So probably spent about half an hour doing that and getting it on the cabinet. That won't have helped. What else? We did spend half an hour helping a couple of the others, but I absolutely do not begrudge that. We're like helping each other out at game jams is part of what we do. A couple of the others got hit with a massive merge conflict in Git that both me and Will were stood there trying to get sorted for them. They could have lost like most of the game, like 30 hours into the jam, which would have absolutely fucking sucked. Which was why we were helping them out, because like we know what it's like to lose progress, and we did not want to see him do that. That team actually ended up going on to win the jam, which was amazing to see. So I'm really glad we were able to get that sorted for them. Baby Materies. Oh, fuck off, Max. You're all little shits. But in terms of what would I have done differently for this game itself, I think the main menu should have been a separate scene. Will thinks it was good to have it all as one scene. I can see why. But I think we should have had a separate scene. It would have made it easier for me to work on the menu while Will was getting on with the main scene. Let's see. I would maybe have considered... I don't know, because I liked the theme and ideas. I think for the most part, we could have got it all done in the time. We've just had a few slips that slowed us down a little bit. Can Moonbright become exclusive early access content for our secret project theme? I didn't realize it was a secret project, but sure, go ahead. Oh, funnily enough, I've just had a snap from Will. I did tell him I was streaming this game tonight. I am kind of curious. Oh, hang on. Have 100, but okay. No, he's talking about other stuff. He's talking about other stuff. He also had a weird, strange mask on. Oh. Okay, well, now I'm being bad streamer. I'm looking at my phone during the stream, but oh, well, what a shame. What a shame. You'll learn so... yeah. Just let no, Max. We are horrible. We're all terrible with secrets. Clearly, Rangers are not very good with secrets. Sure. This must be how, like, Prof is always getting hold of, like, Minimoys, and how the bad guy and how the forest is always full of monsters. We're just terrible at keeping secrets. So, like, that whole data mining thing, people know where to strike and everything. Like, damn, we're not very good at this, are we, Rangers? Oh, man. Yeah. I think if we had another go at this, we could have, like, polished it up. I think for the most part, I would have kept most of it the same. I think I would have kept most of it the same. Just maybe tweak sort of the implementation that a little bit. If we had just another 2 or 3 hours, I think we could have really got the polish down. We could have found some of these bugs and fixed them. And we could have like implemented sort of chests and just improve the like audio and that a little bit. Just generally like add that little bit more polish that we usually get in our games. I'm not upset though. Like, it's been a pretty good project. I'm pretty happy with it. We had a lot of fun. There were some awesome games at the jam. If folks want to like see some of the others that were done at the jam, at least at the university, here are a few. Yeah, thanks, Moon. Right. There's a link to the submission. Oh, no, that's not quite right. Hang on, let me try that again. Here we go. Here we go. So those are all the games that were done at the university. Some of them are multiplayer, so you won't be able to play them by yourself. Things like URL Prop Hunt. That was the one that won the main prize in the end. And honestly, they deserved it. They were ambitious, but it was like, it worked out well. They had 12 people playing the multiplayer during the demo, and it worked pretty well. Like, all things anticipated. And doing, like, a prop hunt, pretty, like, nice way. Like, it's a nice nostalgia vibe. And worked well with the theme. Let's see, what else was there? Masquerade was interesting. Arcana Wars had some cool, nice pixel artwork. There was some good stuff. There's also the Global Game Jam site itself, where you can see all the games uploaded by people all across the world. It's always worth going through some of them and seeing what people have done. One of the best bits of doing a game jam is seeing what else other people have made during the course of the jam. I'm not planning on going back to university for the next one. I'll probably end up doing it solo. Like, plus retired from doing jams some years ago. Will wasn't going to come back for this one. He only came back to do this one because it was like 10 years. He said he might do the next one, but I'm not going to hold my breath. And there's a couple of others who actually expressed interest in working with us. So I might, like, see if they're interested in working next year. But we'll see. I'm not planning on going back to university. I'm just getting a little too old. And that's not even me going, oh, I'm getting old. University students are like 18 to 21. And, like, I'm 28. It's becoming more and more obvious that it's just a different generation there now. So I feel like after 10 years of being at the university, it's time for me to see what other jam sites are out there. So I'm going to see what else is around. Look, see there's another one that I can maybe go to. So yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not planning on giving up jams if I can. But we'll see how things get on. Certainly, like, I think no one can fault us for, like, the number of games we've done. I mean, what's this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So I have 18 Game Jam games on my profile. I know for a fact there's 2 that I don't even have the files for anymore and aren't on here. Which means I've done at least 20 game jams. Actually, a couple more as well on top of that. I said to Will, I worked something out that startled us both a bit. After this jam, me and Will have over 600 no, sorry. What was it? Over 480 hours doing game jams just in global alone. And we have competed in many other game jams besides. At this point, we've got like probably somewhere like 600 to 700 hours game jam experience each. And to put that in perspective, my most played game on PC is Rocket League at 724 hours. So I have almost as many hours doing game jams as I do on my most played Steam game, which is kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. We are young, elderly. Oh man, don't tell me about it. Almost 26, eh? Almost 26. I already crack my back frequently. What you need, Max, is like a large pole, and we can fasten it to your back, and that'll help keep your back straight. That'll solve all your back problems. I wonder where we can find the large pole that we can fasten to your back. Oh yeah, there's your mast on the ship, isn't there? That'll do. Very relatable. I have a colleague 1 year younger than me and has chronic back pain. Oh, that sucks. Probably I mentioned earlier too. You might have. I don't remember, but I don't. You might have. I've got awful memory. Lucky numbers, eh? Lucky numbers. Oh, let's see you do that many jams, Max. Let's see you jam for the next 10 years. See what it does to you. There's a reason I don't have any hair left. Materies don't. All right, fine. I won't, Max. Lakea will, though. Oh, man. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. I did say today's stream would likely be a little bit shorter. And that is mainly because I am still knackered and recovering from the jam. I wanted to do this stream because I wanted to show this off. I know you guys like to see behind the scenes, and I like getting to show you guys the stuff we do. Fucking hell. Over 2,300 hours in TF2, over 2,200 hours in War Thunder. Damn, son. I do not have that much time. But yeah, I'm going to go continue to rest. I've also got tomorrow off work. So I'll like spend that resting and working on like another video. I will get another character video out for YouTube. So we'll see if I can get that done tomorrow. Been a good stream? Aye, it has. Thank you so much for joining. I genuinely love that I get to share like these behind the scenes with you guys. I love that you guys enjoy seeing them. So yeah, absolutely. We'll be back with more Thief tomorrow, so not the end of the world. I'll try and get back to doing like the 4-hour streams again, which I was starting to do. But for tonight, it's been a bit of a short one. So let's see who else is live and raid out, shall we? Let's see. Well, who else is live? I see Baron Von Derg is also just chatting. Let's raid into Baron Von Derg, shall we? Raid channel, following and Baron Von Derg. Here we go. Start raid. All right, guys. We need. All right, give over with the baby stuff. Oh man. All right. Thank you very much for joining, guys. It has been an awesome stream as always. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Thief, and we'll be doing another stream later in the week. It's fine, Moonbright. It's not fine. I'm just a little bit more irritable because tiredness is getting to me. That's why I'm wrapping it up now. And the baby stuff, I don't know where it's come from. Don't worry about it. Anyway, raiding. Yes, raiding. Bound from dirt. I see the timer going down. Shit, what was I doing? Yes, Discord. Here is a. That was the wrong link. That was the YouTube link. What the fuck is going on with my character model? I don't know. Raid. Fucking get your shit together, Materies. Okay. You can definitely tell I stayed up for a long time, can't you? Anyway, there's our raid message. Take care, guys. Post this into Bound's chat as we raid in. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Oh, fucking hell.